going to talk about how to measure turbidity with a turbidity tube. And this is a real simple device to get measurements of water clarity using a visual Secchi disc to measure the depth to which you can see through the water column. So before you get in to take your measurements, you just want to visually inspect the tube and make sure that it doesn't have a lot of sediment or things stuck to the side from previous measurements. And if it does, you want to rinse it out with creek water before you get started to make sure that it's as clean as possible before you take your readings. You want to choose a site that's upstream, again, of anywhere anyone might be disturbing sediment in the water, because that will affect your measurements. But you'd want to do this after YSI readings and lab sample bottles have been filled. So you want to go out into a section of good flow and again face upstream and fill the tube as full as possible, which is going to depend on the depth of the water at your site. And then you want to take the reading with a full 120 centimeters of water in the tube. So any bit that you haven't been able to fill, you just want to top off with water using a cup or bucket. And any excess will run out because there's a little hole punctured at the top of the tube. So when it comes time to take your reading, you want to make sure that you have your back to the sun and the tube with your body blocking the sun from your reading. And you want to make sure you remove your sunglasses. And what you're doing here is lowering this little disc into the water until it visually disappears, and then you want to pull it back up until you see it reappear, and then that's where you take and record your reading. So it's disappeared, and now I want to pull it back up until I see it reappear again. And that's about right there, and then you just want to hold the string against the side and lift it up to take your reading. And scratches and dents will end up in the long run affecting the clarity of the tube and ultimately your readings. And so it's best to store the tube when you're not using it in a protective covering like this snazzy one we have here.